She goes to chat with her buddy Victoria about her troubles with Brittany. Now, Victoria, who's been arrested for robbing grocers, says, don't worry, she's a slut with no class. Hi, hello, and welcome to another brand spanking new episode of Another Bachelor Podcast. My name is Dylan. I'm saddled up next to my buddy, real Nicholas Davis.
What's going on, everybody?
Sadly, in his Packers Letterman.
It's too much.
I'm no fair weather fan, and my grandmother bought this for me.
How do you feel now?
Not good.
But I just got to show support. I'll always wear this stuff following a loss. You know, show him you still care. Love you, Aaron.
Can't wait to go see Aaron play at SoFi Stadium. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
I'm gonna put a boat in it.
So Pat, how are you?
I'm doing good.
All right. Episode 4,
Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Matt James season. The ratings are through the floor.
Yeah, not doing good.
That's because we haven't gotten to know him yet.
We never got to know him. Who would have known that would have been a factor? We have to know the person before they come in.
It's unbelievable.
Be careful what you wish for, because I've been screaming from the rooftops as we've been recapping this for years. Bring in a new guy. I'm sick of some loser that came in second or third. The guy who killed a guy, the corn guy. He was horrible.
What are you talking about?
Well,
Chris Soules.
Chris Soules. He killed a guy.
Yeah, he hit an immigrant in a
I
car
didn't need
and
him to be the bachelor. I wanted a new guy.
Chris Take Souls.
Love that, but hey, Mickey, if you're listening, Tyler Chill, through the roof.
Yeah, bring him on.
Through the roof.
I already got my eye on a few young ladies that I would like to see as the bachelor.
All right, that's pretty creepy the way you said that, but we will talk about who we want to see as bachelorette tonight. Couch it.
Mm-hmm.
We need to get to PSAs before we get to general thoughts.
Right.
Which for new listeners, we'll talk about the show, how we feel about the episode generally. But do you have any PSAs this evening?
Yeah, I need your money. Patreon.com/Another Podcast
Their
Network.
money.
Right.
Yeah.
We want to get to 600 in the next couple days. So I think, we get 20 short?
Yeah, we're pretty close.
So
if
get
you guys
over
could
there.
bump that up, that'd be
you've
great.
been listening to us do it. There's a reason why there's so many people over there signing up, and our retention rate is amazing. Our social media person told us that.
Yeah.
It's through the fucking roof.
Janet.
Once people sign up, they either forget that they signed up, and it's so minute what do you call that?
What's going on?
The $5. Yeah, expense. It's not even on their radar, so they forget. Yeah. And we, but the $5, by the multiple, it means a lot to us.
Yeah, I want to say recidivism, but that's not the right word.
Or they're really into what we're doing over there. And I'm actually
anti-disestablishmentarianism.
So anyway, go over to Patreon and give us $5 finally, please.
Nick, you got any PSA?
I actually do have a PSA. How coincidental that you asked, Dylan.
Because I usually don't get to you for PSAs.
No. Great instincts.
Stars aligned this evening.
Great instincts, great hosting.
Thank you.
I do have a PSA. We're running a contest. All right. Lots of times we're begging you for money. Oh, pay us. But this time I'm gonna pay you.
It's a contest. It's a hashtag motherfucking contest, everybody.
It's a hashtag motherfucking contest, and I won't be hashtag clearing it with the FTC, okay?
Yeah, and people that are like, oh, we gotta clear this before we run a social media contest. Will you shut the fuck up, please?
No one's watching you. No one cares about you as much as you care about you, okay?
Yeah.
We're gonna get away with this, okay?
Yeah.
The contest is, I want all the baby birdies out there, those that are technologically inclined and hip and young and with it.
That's most of them.
We want Another Podcast Network to have a TikTok presence. Not because I like the medium or I like watching it, because I think it will help us grow and make me more money.
Yeah.
So I want our baby birds to create a TikTok using our audio. The visual can be whatever. Make it TikTok-y. But it's going to be a contest, and just whichever one we like the best, I'm going to send $100. You have to post it to your own TikTok and tag all the fucking TikTok-y tags.
Okay.
And the best one, $100.
That's
the
100 bones.
The winner will be announced next week on this show, and it could be a running thing depending on how many entrants we get. Because
and again,
it's really genius to get us going viral.
Oh, I really know how to motivate these birdies. Mm-hmm. Hey, if we get more than 5, I'll throw 50 out of the Facebook group.
Oh, I thought you were going to throw 50.
That's so many.
I thought you were going to throw 50 on it.
And guys, like we said, we recognize that TikTok is one of the 70 social media horsemen of the apocalypse. We don't like it, but we just need to get our presence going there. So
TikTok, Clubhouse.
Yeah.
the 74.
I'm on Clubhouse now. I was exploring the app. We're going to be huge there. But anyways, we got to get into the show. 70 social media horsemen of the apocalypse. General thoughts. Pat, why don't you go first?
All right, I'm going to go. I am going to take use my time for something far more interesting than discussing what my general thoughts are of the episode. It was an okay episode. Who cares?
Okay, breaking the mold.
Bastardization.
My
of the
wife
second
and I
rule.
last night went down a wormhole on Dale Moss. He has launched
Oh my
the
God.
Dale Moss brand. I kid you not. That is what his brand is called. The Dale Moss brand. Very creative of this piece of shit.
Yeah.
Go seek it out. It's absolutely absurd. Whoever did his website, it just...
Now, what is this? T-shirts?
Oh, lifestyle brand. He's selling everything over there. It's almost as this he'd been working on this for months.
Yeah.
And meant to launch it just days after dumping Claire makes my skin crawl.
He was working on this entrepreneurial dream and just needed a trampoline to help.
It's almost like that. Like you predicted 6 months ago, and when we posted the audio of you saying what you just said and what actually eventually happened, a young lady got in those comments and called you a pig for saying such.
We were attacked by many people for that audio, and we do kind of break down that and the whole Clarendale saga at patreon.com.
Oh, that's right. We did that.
Podcast Network. So yeah.
And I actually was aware of the Dale Moss brand. Who isn't? But
Tons.
before Dale Moss went on national television to find his one true love, hopefully the woman he would marry and then have children with, not to grow that brand, he had a podcast in about 2019 where he talked to such NFL superstars as Quincy Enunwa,
cool, yeah.
in depth on just everything, what the brand is selling, what the brand is doing. Nobody really knows.
Yeah, it's like
but it's there
Nexium.
and it's strong.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Well, that was sex trafficking young gals.
Well, and burning them, but I wouldn't put it past Dale.
I know how I'm going to bring this home where I bring this to this.
I was
actual
wondering,
subject.
yeah.
Okay. So I never knew when Claire Makes My Skin Crawly last spring when she was chosen as Bachelorette, started like telling producers that certain guys were going to be thrown out and weren't even going to be welcomed on their series because they were quote unquote fame thirsty.
Yeah.
That was Matt. That's the guy who got thrown off.
Oh, right,
I
right,
had
right.
no idea that she threw him off and then would fall in love with a more devious fame whore.
Yeah. Is it the devil you don't know?
I forget. But
What is it? Can I say something really quickly? We're a couple minutes into the show.
Yeah.
And you've just completely fucked us.
I know.
Completely.
I apologize.
You haven't given any general thoughts. We've talked about Dale's brand. And
I think people are excited to talk about the Dale Moss brand.
burning
Check out the Dale
women
Moss
and
brand.
stuff like that.
Well, forgive me. I will conclude my thoughts right now. I'm done.
And how many
How many
knots?
pods?
50.
Nick?
A lot of people out there, I'm pretty sure they were talking about on the interwebs all week. Is Nick going to continue the metaphor? Is he? I don't know. It's been so
Yeah.
great. I am. Fourth day of school.
Yep.
I know these people.
Yep.
And I'm starting to realize I really don't like some of these people. The
Yeah.
excitement has worn away.
Yeah.
I realize I'm going to be here all year. I can't continue it all year because like episode 10 wouldn't be the 10th day of school. It's the end, it's the last day of school,
exactly.
or whatever. So, like, don't expect this to continue, but here it continues.
Yeah.
I don't like some of these people. I'm gonna be here all year. This made me a little uncomfortable, to be honest. It's like one of the teachers tried to touch me or something.
Oh, wow.
Some of the stuff that was happening, I was like, wow, Jesus Christ, they're really gonna ruin this woman's.
Are you talking? Oh, the escort stuff. I thought you were talking about them putting women in a ring, telling them to beat the shit out of each other.
No,
Classy.
Another one that
Classy.
you guys know I'm inclined to combat sports. You would think I would love that, but also made my skin crawl a little bit.
Hey, Nick, can I take a guess on who your least favorite classmate is?
Yeah.
Is it the Sty Monster? She eats her own boogies.
I'm getting deja vu so hard right now because it's not her. Nick's going to say somebody different.
Wow. We should get Dylan checked out. Say 5 numbers really fast. The Mega Millions is at like almost fucking 100
No,
million.
somebody won it.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
There gets to a point when
There's too many people play.
the jackpot is so high, it's actually a positive investment to buy a lottery ticket. Your chances are winning if it gets past like 345 million.
Can you
or
talk about
something.
The Bachelor?
Yes, my least favorite is actually Anna.
Yeah.
53 pops.
Call her Nutcracker Face.
I'm not giving general thoughts. Let's get into the episode.
I'm going to put it to a vote because I know you don't like that nickname. I also don't like that nickname. We're not going to call her Nutcracker
Call her
Face.
Nutcracker Face.
Nope.
So,
Go look up a Nutcracker figure.
We've got a tasty little tease at the beginning of the show. We may have a full-blown whore and or sex worker in our midst. So
We don't. Please hire this woman.
yeah. Matt begins this episode heartbroken that the girl he was most attracted to has left the competition.
Well, he reflects on he actually takes it as he was rejected, and apparently this is him in quotes about the relationship. They talked about a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Boy, he runs deep, this man.
Yeah, what does your dad have?
I do. Real quick, Nick knows too much. Sarah departed. I was saying how I was on the fence, like, oh, was she like really struggling? Does she have to go see her father? Is it that bad?
Is he dead?
Or is she an influencer? She knows this is going to get attention. I'm leaning back towards attention.
Yeah.
Deep dive into her TikTok shows that before she was branded herself as a caregiver, she was trying to be a fitness influencer, really giving a lot of tutorials that way.
Yeah.
And she's already going on Instagram lives with some of the men from Claire/Tasha's season.
Oh, wow.
The Noahs, the Chasins, and some other douchebag. Nick knows too much is concluded.
Yeah, I think she's dating some DJ now too.
DJ.
Oh yes,
yeah.
yes. Actually,
you're
Bouger.
driving into Las Vegas and they're like, DJ, this is playing at Caesars. And you're like, who's that?
and you say now, she was also dating him. Then people are saying that they had an agreement that she would go on there to build her brand, a la Jed Wyatt. And
wow. All right, I'm gonna throw up if we talk about this world like this anymore because. What a fucking hellscape. So back to the girls. They are, back to Matt. I love that this whole thing, this narrative of like, it's the pain that he put forth on a platter that, kind of turned her away from him. As she said, everyone hated her and her dad's dying. Those are two really good reasons. It has nothing to do with your dad leaving early. All right, so back to the girls.
Meanwhile,
they are really piling up on Sarah, whose father is dying, and that's when Katie, who should be the next Bachelorette 1,000%, she's the next Caitlin Bristow. I just think it's great casting. Steps up and says, guys, let's not shit on people who are not here to defend themselves. Although if she was there, she wouldn't really defend herself. She would just kind of
she'd be up in the bedroom,
and then she'd go lay down.
Yeah, I have some thoughts on the sty monster.
Yeah,
I actually believe that's a bacteria on her eye, like from an alien race that's controlling her fucking
well, a
brain.
lot of people have been saying that somebody shit in her pillow.
Oh.
A lot of people have been saying that. I think there was a carousel of women that were going in and out of that room with stuff chambered, and then Alicia our pillow.
now a lot of people think of Knocked Up as just a great comedy, but it educated a lot of people
educational stuff
on the danger of farting on someone's pillow. The entire house got pink eye.
Yeah, that movie taught us to fact check because somebody says that Steely Dan is a shitty band, and you have to fact check that. You have to listen to Steely Dan and recognize that whoever wrote that in that screenplay, maybe Judd Apatow, who is a piece of shit, is a fucking piece of shit. Because Steely Dan is fucking unbelievable.
And it gave us quite the insight on what kind of a person Leslie Mann is, because she was just, of course, embodying herself when she was attacking that fucking doorman. You can hear all about that on our Patreon.
Yeah, go over to Patreon. My wife worked for Leslie Mann, and she didn't sign an NDA, and we tell the horror stories of what a complete bitch Leslie Mann is.
So, Patreon.com/Another Podcast Network.
Let's get to minute 4. Just wrapping up this heroism from Katie. She asks, what are you calling her, the sty monster?
The sty monster,
okay.
Yes.
She asks her to curtail the cuntiness a little bit, to which Victoria replies, literally shut the fuck up.
Literally.
So we'll talk about why she needs an apology later. But she's a fucking tough one to contend with, man. Shall we get to the group date?
Yes, it's at night.
There were
Night date, group date.
were concerns over whether or not Sarah's departure would overshadow this date. Now, I don't know if it's Sarah or if it's him, but his energy is through the floor. Mm-hmm. He speaks like old molasses, and not in a Sam Elliott kind of charming way, more in a like you're boring the absolute fuck out of me kind of way. Yep. Do you guys not pick up on this? He speaks like a village log. He's just so boring.
Can I tell you, he's trying to be calculated because he doesn't want to say the wrong thing, and that makes him extremely uninteresting.
I believe Matt to be studious and hardworking, and he wants to do the right things and be seen in the right light, but he's not a bright man. Yeah. And that's why he talks slow. He's trying to say the right things. That's my take on it. No, I feel the same thing.
He's a couple BPMs away from Sling Blade, and I'm not kidding.
Hey, just so the audience knows how even-handed we deal out the criticisms, I'm gonna talk about some of the ladies coming up. Just if you feel we were going a little too hard on Matt, I want you to know.
I know a lot of people were like, hey, take
Lay
it
off.
easy.
Hey, are you going to talk shit about women?
So, yes, we are. MJ takes him first. She seems to have found some type of rejuvenation. Maybe a producer was like, America's going to forget you faster than they would have if you don't pick it up. So she starts making moves, and she's very in his face, and he's recoiling.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a reason for that. I thought their talk was going great until he asked her what she did for a living. And when she said hairstylist, he just answered simply, huh.
Yeah. I mean, what?
He was like, why don't you try getting high off your own supply?
What are you
He was
doing?
saying her hair sucks. I was like,
all right.
That's hypothetically. He was saying her hair sucks, and that's how he said it.
yeah, because it was like, when you're a hairstylist, it's like service. That is your product.
Hey, can I insult the next girl?
Oh, yeah, go for it.
Okay, Mari, who I am in love with. She is gorgeous.
Yeah.
That being said, she should have let that dress stay in the limo after the quinceañera. You know what I mean?
Whoa, what's up? 4-year-old? Shit his pants.
It was an absurd dress.
I love how she's your favorite. We have this thing. And I don't care.
I don't think she's Hispanic.
I don't care. Well, she said she's
care.
from Puerto Rico, but she's much like the girl whose half of her heart was in Havana. Though
Not at all.
I know, but kind of in that way where he's like, so what's going on with Puerto Rico after the hurricanes? She's like, well, you know what? Can someone come interrupt me, please?
It's really terrible or okay what's happening to those people.
Yeah, más o menos. I don't. I've said it again so many times. I'm a dead horse, but I don't get the lip thing or any physical enhancement at the age of 24. I mean, if your back hurts, it's I get it, but
or you're 40.
If you're 40, sure. If you want, if it helps you, 24. You're gorgeous.
You know what?
What are you doing to your face?
Can I tell you who we have to blame for that? It's those Kardashian whores.
Yeah.
Why are you 16 getting your tits? What?
Kardashian
whore
whores isn't their name. It's
That's
just
redundant.
Kardashian. Yeah. It's just Kardashian. So we've got Abigail. Lay off Matt, guys. Come on. We've got Abigail up next, who may be the first person in the history of the show to get a first impression rose and go home in the 5th episode. Mm-hmm. But can we get to Chelsea?
Oh, I'm chomping at the bit.
All right. So I'm very concerned that you're as
too,
excited to
actually.
talk about that. So don't just let me set this up. She steps up next. They chat about hair, something that can be very heavy to black women because it can represent like a bluest eye kind of pressure to assimilate to white America. And he's looking at her and he's hearing her and he's thinking about what a fucking bummer it is that Sarah's not here.
100%. And he was like, hey, sweetie, how about the 15 fucking minutes you little lady spend every fucking morning in the mirror putting that makeup on?
What are you doing?
Well, what's the point of that?
What?
It's equally as useless. It's like you're straightening your hair or you're putting on a bunch of fucking face paint. You're walking out the door because you want the world to accept you.
Do you understand the cultural pressures to change what her hair naturally looks like because white people's hair look like you? What's going on? Are we having a Led Zeppelin communication breakdown? I thought it was very apparent what was happening.
Oh, what she was saying?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I get what she's saying. I'm saying
okay.
it's stupid.
Oh, you think it's stupid?
I think it's stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I do see the confusion that's happening between you two. But I would just like to say that there's just as many white girls that have extensions, if not more. They don't like their hair either, and it's goddamn Tyra that did it.
You guys don't listen to enough Two Dope Queens.
Actually, I do know her.
I think I have a more intimate understanding of this issue than you guys do.
Because one of them even wrote a book, Please Don't Ask to Touch My Hair.
Yeah, she's awesome. Love her.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure she's great.
And listen, I get it because I have, rather voluminous curls, being a Hebe and whatnot. People constantly ask to run their fingers through it.
Hey, I will say
I'm losing my hair.
I will say on a good note, Chelsea having released herself and just cut it all off.
Yeah.
As I'm staring at the screen at her and Matt, I'm like, you know what? They can use the same barber.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
They do use the same barber.
Two birds, one stone. All right, so every time...
Is that a Maya Angelou poem?
Yeah.
Context clues.
Yeah. Every time she comes into the room, Matt says it's a wow moment. This is not going to work between them.
No.
There's it's just the chemistry's not there.
She strikes me. She's definitely smarter than him, and I think
so much smarter
she
than
will
him.
tire of him quickly.
Again, we've said she needs to be with a Jewish,
Attorney or
MSNBC producer or something like that.
My willingness to shit on some of these girls is strongly correlated with how much they shit on Britney. And Chelsea was hopping on this bandwagon. You saw her laughing at all the jokes and stuff. So,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, she was not. She was batting ninth.
Yeah. Yeah. I felt like we were kind of rough on her, but she was a bit. She was
a bystander, though.
I mean, I wasn't rough on her. You guys were, though. Moving on.
Back at the house.
Meanwhile, Katie.
Sty Monster. You got to call her Sty Monster.
I'm Katie and Victoria. What a moment. Victoria tells Katie, excuse me, Sty Monster tells Katie that she thought it was rude when Katie told her that she shouldn't refer to women as trash that took itself out. I love Victoria. She's so unbelievably dumb, and that Sty is so unfortunate. But despite how horrific those two qualities are, she's unrelenting. She's very confident. She told Katie to shut the fuck up and not speak to her, and then demanded an apology. So Katie really stops her in her tracks here with a pretty brilliant tactic called asking a question. She goes, so what's the point of this conversation? What's the point?
She stumped her there for a second.
Oh my God. Stiff jab. That really popped back there for a second.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised that Victoria didn't come back with a very philosophical, well, what's the point of all of this?
Yeah. I swear to God, I thought that's what she was going to say.
I was wondering if Katie had read the book, How to Sell Anything to Anyone or something like that.
Yeah.
It basically, you ask questions of people and you stump them and they're uncomfortable and it's easier to sell them what you're trying to sell.
Things to attractive people or something like that.
Something like that, yep.
Yeah, but yes, she takes a good long beat and then says, I think that you're a bitch and I need you to apologize.
Yes.
And
then she threw in there, hey, you dumb bitch, look at you. You're coming in here with a vibrator. How lame is that? I was like, whoa, shots fired.
And Katie
get that drop.
And Katie comes back immediately do not sex shame me. It's 2021. I use my vibrator. You're a prude, all right? Sex work is real work. Shut up, Britney.
I don't think Victoria's a prude. No. She's going to go out on a limb.
True.
She is a zombie. Can we get to cockies?
Please, cockies.
Love Victoria's Frozen reference at the top.
Call her a Sty Monster, please.
I don't watch children's movies because they bore me and they make me cry. But I got it. It was really funny. We're in Nick's parlance. Fire.
It's fire. What did she say? I missed it.
She said I am Elsa and she is Frozen. So she does not go first. She said that she was going to. It was a certainty. Instead, a gorgeous black woman who I don't know that we've ever met goes first. I'm kidding. It's Piper, but there are too many people on the show.
Mm-hmm. Too many.
Any highlights before we get to Victoria being interrupted by Shitface.
Fun little thing. All right, so I should mention as this cocky party starts, which will soon turn into a rose ceremony, Rachel, Chelsea, and Selena already have roses, so they were already safe.
Serena.
Just mention that. Serena, sorry. Secondly, I want to say a little behind the curtain. My wife spent 2 days with Kit this week. Said she was a lovely person to delight, and actually had a tough week because she got attacked online as a bully for what she did to Sarah the week before.
What was you doing hanging out with Kit?
I can't get into that, but my wife came out. She's like, "Oh, she's a great person." I'm like, "Why?" She's like, "Well, first off, she remembered my name." I said, "That's a low bar, sweetie."
I actually have been a big fan of Kit because your wife gave us some insight that she's a New York City socialite,
But lives out here in Brentwood and hangs out with all the rich kids out here.
Gotcha. But now they are now somehow intermingling, and the question must be asked: could we get a convo with Kit?
I'll ask.
I feel like
coy. What could be so top secret?
It's just the people that my wife worked for. She signed an NDA, so she can't say like why she's at these people's houses.
Smart, because if you do cross Cherie, we will talk about it on our podcast. So, Victoria is in fact interrupted by Shitface. The girls think that Sarah has come back. That would be pathetic producing on account of fathers dying, but it would be good producing, because fuck her family. You know what I
Right.
mean? This is
She'll-
about
It's
drama.
happened before.
she'll be back at hometowns.
Instead, we get the kind of producing that we're accustomed to on this show. Now, I wrote this thinking that it was a pretty bad idea, but I think that it ultimately ends up being, a solid tactic by the Svengalis.
The idea of bringing more girls in.
Yes.
And it
so-
was going to be lame, and yet it turned into be wildly entertaining.
Yeah, it was wildly entertaining. So, shame on me. We've talked about how there are too many fucking people on the show, but Mickey does not seem to mind. In some, fascistic edict he delivered, he was like, I want 115 women on this show. And somebody was like, Mickey, we've got enough. And he was like, what's your name? Nick.
I wouldn't say that.
It's because of this edict that 5 more women are going to be showing up. Enter Brittany, the Days of Our Lives reject, who delivers a killer line that made me want to throw up, then grabs him and starts slopping up the lower part of his face.
I would like to comment on this.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Matt. This makes you a boy, not a man, sir. You barely know this. What you don't know. You have no idea who this person is. She's mildly attractive.
Okay.
And she stuck her tongue in your throat. And you know all these girls that have spent, I think they mentioned it's 3 weeks at the time frame right now. This is downright rude and unbecoming, sir. You are a weak little man. I would never have allowed this. I would have been like, hey, sorry, we'll get to know each other.
Sure.
And that's what a real man and a gentleman would do. He's just a sad, pathetic dude.
Mr. Chastity over there, huh?
I think
He doesn't know how to play the game like Patty would.
I think this is the Svengali's hard at work here. He's a God-fearing man. I don't think he drinks a lot. They have these cocky parties. He's 4 deep. Then they're like, okay, we're gonna send the sluttiest girl at him, and he's lost his faculties at this point.
Right.
And I
Facilities.
Hey, one little note here on Brittany, just so she's called a whore quite a bit in the show. Truth be told, she just dated a bunch of rich guys, which a lot of her friends were doing. This was all cleared up on the social medias today.
Oh, nice.
Now,
I didn't even know.
Anna, aka Nutcracker Face, she was a bottle service girl, and I think that's a lower rung. Having those little firecrackers as the bottles are being brought in for those guys overpaying for bottle service.
Okay, so I have this later, but let's address it, because this whole thing where Nutcracker Face was saying, I've been told to be wary of this girl. People have been sending me her pictures, and I'm thinking, like, what kind of fucking world do you live in the copy editing, in the copywriting industry, where people are like saying, like, look out for this girl, like everybody's got.
It's Samantha in HR. I don't think Samantha in HR at the copywriting. No,
Right.
I think it's some like bottle service girl.
Right. So when she said bartending, it's revealed that she was a bottle service girl. And, we don't want to shit on professions. You got to make money how you can make money. But to be judging a person who is supposedly an escort when you are bringing out flaming bottles of champagne in a bikini, there's a little glasses and stone houses.
Big time.
I have
Big time.
I have another word for bottle service girl. Bad escort.
Right. That's what I wanted to say.
Or aspiring escort,
exactly.
to be honest.
Exactly my point. I'm sure that the girls who are doing bottle service are looking at these women who are coming in with these disgusting old men, and they feel at least a little bit of envy because they have nicer things than them, and they don't have to work until 5 o'clock in the morning, but the grass is always greener. You don't know what a waddle on your face feels like when getting sexed missionary by an 85-year-old man. It's not worth it.
Tale as old as time. Don't mistake paradise for the house next door.
We always feel free when we escape, even if it be from the frying pan into the old man's Bentley.
Okay, so she walks in, and I love how the
Was
girls.
that Robert Frost?
Please.
Can't remember
It
his
was
name.
obviously Robert Frost. So she walks in, and I love how the girls treat these women like they're any different than them. Like the girls are doing it to them. You know what I mean? Like, no, they're just like you. You're all just pretty cattle that are being ordered around by people in headsets. who
Now,
live
to
in
be Los
fair,
Feliz. Brittany overstepped the bounds there by sticking her tongue in his throat. Like
Little
that,
bit.
I think that's overstepping the bounds there.
a little bit. I agree with that. But the rest of them, it's just like, what's the deal? Why all the hatred?
Well, to be fair, it's the sty monster now looking like the abominable snowman in that ridiculous cheap fur coat.
Yeah.
She's the one that is really the main architect of the hatred, in my opinion. Some of the girls are kind of sitting back, being a little chilly. I think you are right, though, Dylan. They should be pointing fingers at the people that are holding cameras at this point.
Yeah.
Not the young ladies coming in.
Yeah.
And I really, really hated the alliance between the quote-unquote OG girls and then versus the new girls.
Yeah.
That was a recurring theme. The people like MJ, Anna, Chelsea, Asian Serena, and Kayla, you have no chance. You can remove these 5 new women and you are still irrelevant in terms of Matt. So quit blaming them and acting like they're the enemy. Matt's affection is the enemy.
Right.
I really held back.
And also, that girl that got out of jail and she was on parole showed up in that fucking dress that looked like she was going to the AVN Awards to accept her trophy for best double anal. She deserved to be tossed that
What
night.
are you talking? Oh my fucking god!
You didn't see that dress on that girl that she.
I wrote down that I loved the pattern, and then I saw the cut of it. I was like, wow, that's a lot. Okay, but anyways, before her, we need to talk about another Faya moment. That is when Miss Puerto Rico, Universe Puerto Rico, comes in the house. Victoria greets her with a very, very warm welcome.
Are you a former Miss? Or like
Yeah, so I'm Victoria, like the queen. Okay. And so I think I should have that crown, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean,
Thank you. Victoria.
it's okay.
Victoria.
The claws are out, man. Like, yikes.
I didn't catch when I watched it. There were 3 girls saying Victoria, Victoria, like essentially stop.
Like, hey, you're being a sty monster.
You're being a sty monster.
Yeah.
Dylan, let me just
But really quickly before you move on, Catalina, Puerto Rico, Miss Universe.
I know what you're going to say. Are the judges blind down in Puerto Rico?
Nope.
Oh.
That's what Dylan was going to say.
You thought that was what I was going to say?
I don't know.
No, I was going to say, throw a fucking jab if she tries to take your goddamn tiara.
She's
Hit her in the Adam's apple and get kicked off the show, but don't let her take your crown.
Dylan, you know one of the staples of being a Miss whatever. It's your composure.
Beauty and grace.
Yes.
But no, you cannot touch the crown.
Okay.
One of these girls looks like someone's mom. I don't know what she was doing on the show. I texted you guys last night. I think that might have been Ryan or something.
So, the girls are freaking out a little bit, but fear not. Matt walks in with the enthusiasm of a piece of driftwood. He proposes a toast with no glass, and then Victoria takes him away. Now, she is interrupted by Brittany, who he loves. You know why?
Because she's attractive?
Because she's hot.
Yeah.
He is among the worst bachelors I've ever seen at ranking the women based on looks. He's just
Play a little closer to the vest is what you're saying?
a little bit close. I mean, he ran up there, hopped on Sarah's bed, and stayed up there for 22 minutes.
Well, you know what he's probably thinking? I'm keeping that fucking sty monster around. I can get away with murder.
Yeah, clearly shows I'm
No,
not
he
shallow.
can't get away from because everybody knows that that's the Svengalis with a cattle prod to his throat.
Right.
That's not his choice.
He was so delighted a few scenes back before we were talking, when Harrison came in and interrupted him when he was talking to the sty monster. You could tell he was very uncomfortable. All right, I have a few thoughts on the girls coming in, the new girls coming in,
Yeah.
and how Matt handles it. Okay, so there's going to be a rose ceremony. So he's literally had 5 minutes with the new girls to decide if they are better
Yeah.
than the girls that have stuck around for 3 weeks that he
Who
is
he's
allowed to
seen
stay
for
around.
3 weeks, yeah.
All right, so this is really odd right off the bat. The way he should have handled it, because what I've learned from Claire makes my skin crawly season is, hey, the Svengalis make the rules up here, but they're made to be broken. You can do whatever you want, Matt. You could just say, I'm going to visit Sarah and her dying dad. I'm out of here.
Exactly. You can break the rules and find happiness just like Claire.
You might not get paid, but you can do it. But anyway, all right, so this is what I thought. If I was the bachelor, and I should be the bachelor, my wife told me maybe I can be the bachelor someday.
Well, that's very good for you.
What you do
guys.
is you do 2 separate ceremonies real quick. So you meet with all the 5 girls and you get to know them. You spend 5 minutes and we get to know them, right? And then he basically privately tells them you're going to go home because it's really got to be pretty.
I'm laughing at the thought of you being bachelor and producing on the fly.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like such a catty daddy, like just bossing everyone around.
That's what I do on
This
a
is
set.
what we're going to do, okay? There's no way I can pair these up with the girls that I know. We're going to do a small rose ceremony with them.
Do you know how much the show would benefit from that type of direction?
Thanks, Nick.
Yeah, if we had a strong, I bet Nick Vile's doing that. He's like, no, I'm not going to do this.
Patrick would be like Billy Eichner as the bachelor.
I hate him.
You laying down while all this la heat?
I just thought, so I'm not going to get
Do you want a dollar?
because I have a roll call with all the girls. He actually, I believe, kept at least 3 or 4 of the new girls.
4, yeah.
That's incredible. You like 4 girls that you've spent 2 minutes with better than the others.
Yeah.
4 to 5. 4 to 5.
That is a real commentary on those young ladies that got tossed that night.
Listen, I wouldn't be, if I was the girls, I would be more upset that I didn't beat out Maggie than the 5 new girls because she is non-existent. She's not on the show. She
But-
was in a pumpkin for a little bit tonight.
Oh, that was cute.
Oh, yeah, no, they made her the butt of the joke.
Yeah, exactly.
She has an inability to kayak, which...
And really communicate to him. But it's really, really bad because he's so dumb. You know, it's like June Diane Rayfield and Camille Nanjiani on Burning Love, where
Right.
he's speaking English to her and she's like, I can't understand a single thing you're saying. All right, so shall we get to the rose ceremony?
Sure.
Pat?
I will note before Matt starts doling out the roses, he didn't take a single beat to apologize for the awkwardness or weirdness. Matt, you're a weak soul. All right, here we go. Would you like a roll call?
I would.
Yes, Saya.
Here's the roll call. Hit the music. It's going to really help out this bit if you guys put music in. All right, here's who's staying. MJ, the singer of Twisted Sister. We're not going to take it. I didn't see this coming. I don't think they have any connection. Piper looks like a 14-year-old girl without the makeup. Troubling to look at. Bree, top 3. Maggie, the model, super hot. Michelle, the cute teacher. I'm glad he kept her around. I think definitely top 3. Mari, Jeff Bezos' girlfriend. Personally, that's who I'd pick. She's super hot. Ryan, who invited one of their mothers? Are you kidding me? Kit, once again, the wife likes her, said she's a nice person. I had to remind her she's not a nice person because she remembered your name. Serena C, the Asian. Abby, Vibrator Katie, the Sty Monster. Lauren, the Stunner. Brittany, the Working Whore. Jacinia, Dick Goes In Ya. Anna, the Copywriter, / Shitster, / Jim Carrey's face from The Mask, / Nutcracker Face, and Miss Puerto Rico.
Hey, for next week, though, can you say something else other than just in you, put it in you?
I got
Because
one.
I don't think that's your best.
I would like to put forth a petition
Not looking forward to this either.
I make a motion to call her Jasenia.
Okay. I like that a lot better.
Hey, can I say who goes home?
Yes, absolutely. And
All right.
also, we should stop talking over one another as much as we do.
I'm sorry.
It's all good.
Nick's doing it mostly.
No, I do it too. It's just terrible audio.
All right. Kayla, ouch. She was hot, banging body and smart. I was thinking, what could have sent her home?
That's
Obviously.
the one who you said has a nose up on the competition.
No, that was always Sty Monster. Kayla was a huge
it
fan
was
of.
not.
Really, I forget. So how soon I forget. Anyway, I fell in love with her this episode. I was thinking in my brain. I spent 5 minutes on it. Probably bad breath. The homely Asian girl that came in, she was the only one who got her ass kicked out. And of course, the girl who was on parole that was wearing the horror dress that looked like she was going to the porn awards to accept a best gangbang. I think her name was Katie or Kate.
I think you're referring to Ryan. Are you referring to Ryan?
No, Ryan is the woman who looks like she's 40. I'm sorry. It's true though.
Who brought their mom?
You should say you're sorry.
I'm sorry.
I feel horrible for
Hey, by the way, guys, I told you we were beating up on Matt. See how even we are?
All right. So, yeah. Even's the word. Okay, shall we get to the next day?
Next morning.
Victoria has made it a mission to show the new girls that she, much like Borat, is queen of the castle. Not funny, Dylan. Victoria, you are not the queen. You're the gesture. They're doing nothing about your sty, and they're making you look as sweaty and drippy and sticky as possible. You are the butt of this joke.
Big time. I want
Big time.
I want to back up just for 1 second. Chris Harrison, that piece of shit, in the morning, he asked the new ladies, what was it like entering? And I believe Brittany, the accused whore, said, well, Chris, it wasn't as scary as it usually is.
What? Wait, what do you say?
You could be killed.
Right. Does he have a blade?
Right.
Right.
Is he an American Psycho, Patrick Bateman type person who wants to kill me for pleasure?
Yeah.
Because I am essentially just a nameless person walking the streets.
I'm a CPR doll. Okay.
And he is Dwight in The Office.
Yeah, exactly. Day card. Who do we have?
All right, we got Mari, Bree, Abby, Britt, Ryan, one of the girls' moms, Miss Puerto Rico, Maggie, and I want to say Nutcracker Face.
All right.
Oh, and the Sty Monster.
So, should we get to my former love, Ben Higgins?
I don't understand why.
Yeah. So this nauseates me. The whole thing is like a timeshare for Christian gentlemen. It's really, really annoying and boring. The two of them are just they're corn stalks of human beings. They're just fucking.
You can't have two boars playing it safe. It's a bad TV. You need to get rid of this wimp and invite Nick Viall on here. Nick would have coached him up.
It's amazing how far the show has fallen to have turned us all into advocates of Nick Viall. Mm-hmm. Like the trough that they're trying to get talent out of and the way that they produce. Nick is the best that you can do.
Oh.
It is the best you can do.
He should have just shared the story. Hey, Matt, have some fun with it. I had a girl try and choke me on my season. She asked, did I like it? I said, not even a little.
That's right. I remember she was like on Vicodin trying to choke him on a park bench.
Jasmine, former dancer. I will say that though this was a nothing conversation, there's one thing I did glean that right at this moment, even this early, the producers were lapping up the OGs versus new girls. He was like, how are we going to meld those two? That was Ben's question. And Matt was like, I haven't thought about that at all. I'm trying to find the love of my life.
Yeah.
Or right?
But
yeah.
also Matt was... There's evidence of how stupid Matt is. Ben says something about the old regime. He calls the girls the old regime.
That was the melding point. Yes.
Yeah, and Matt's like...
Regime.
Why are you laughing like that? Idiot. All right, again with this fucking I've got a date planned for you. I don't know who's coming up with this, why this onus has been placed on whose date it is. It makes no fucking sense. It adds nothing to the television program whatsoever. But Ben does set up his date. They'll get in pumpkins. They'll get in squirrel suits. They'll walk the plank. They'll get a special prize. That is Ben's. date.
Thank you, Ben.
I love just taking a step back. And because that's what Ben told Matt he was going to do. I'm going to plan this date that'll help you. Essentially, the goal is find the woman you love. Let's put these women in squirrel suits.
Yeah. This is what the pitch meeting was like. They brought Ben in. They told him to put 4 marshmallows in his mouth and then just say random things. And they put it on a date.
Can I shit on Matt just real briefly? I want to remind the audience, this man, 6 months prior to him being on this, although they try and fool us and say that he was a successful real estate, whatever the fuck, was doing cameos for $25.
He was so fame thirsty that he was eliminated. Like, if you think about the threshold of fame thirst that you have to blow through for Claire to say, oh, you're a little bit too much, you're really not committed to real estate or whatever the fuck he claims to be. He's not a good bachelor so far.
And $25, such a weird price point for him. Because if you know who he is, you're excited about him, you're going to pay something. But $25 a pop, think about that. You get 1,000, that's only $25,000. Like,
yeah,
that's a good point.
You gotta do 50.
Was he not being recruited at this moment? Was he not being promised riches?
I'm just giving information I heard on Juicy Scoop today.
I believe it.
So I thought it was wrong to make these women row in these vehicles.
Oh, you thought this was wrong?
We'll get to it later, but it's clear that Maggie doesn't have a lot of practice with river sports. She's really struggling here. They're going to put her on a wakeboard next week and see what happens. Chris, shitface, steps up and to the winner of the competition, who is Mari, I think. Is her name Mari?
It would have been the Sty Monster, but I believe I heard Matt whisper to her producer, "Can you trip her?"
Yeah. Trip her, tackle her, throw something at her. I don't give a shit.
Tie a rock to her foot.
So he sounds like Kumia sometimes. Do you hear that? Tie a rock to her foot. So Chris says, "These nuts are yours." Between you,
like Opie and Anthony.
Yeah.
I don't know what he sounds like.
Between you sitting there listening to all that smut, and you saying, "These nuts are yours," you're a horror addict and a sexual deviant, and you need to be removed from this television program.
Chris
Just
Harrison.
my thoughts, IMO. So, Anna is her name. I think she's the one with the teeth.
Oh yeah, that's right. Nutcracker face.
She's doing her best to get some time with him, but the disruptive force. What's going on?
You're just a little. You don't got to point it out. He's just doing an extra play for our Patreon.
Oh.
Our Birds of War. He's doing a little facial expression to camera. Patreon.com/Another Broadcast Network.
She's doing her best to get some time with Matt, but the disruptive force of a new girl whom she knows already is too much for her. She can't focus.
The prostitute.
Yes, she is. She is just
Lady of the Night.
She's fucking traumatized by this. She goes to chat with her buddy Victoria about her troubles with Brittany. Now, Victoria, who's been arrested for robbing grocers, says, "Don't worry, she's a slut with no class." You have a pussy fucking thing coming out of your face,
And if you
you're
notice,
also a disgusting human being.
it's like the fucking Blob. As it grows, it gets more powerful.
Yeah. She's awful. I thought that she was funny in one of these episodes. Truly an awful human being.
That was day 3 of class. This
Yes.
is day 4. We
Yeah.
realized we don't like these people.
Yeah, she pushes a kid with bifocals off the bench for no reason. You're like, whoa.
Too far.
What the fuck is that?
You did seem to really
That was
want
me.
to...
I was that kid.
I know.
I've told you guys the story before that one of the meanest things that ever happened. I was walking across the playground. 2 random kids came up to me. I'd never seen them before in my life. They just pointed at me and laughed. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's fine. Great story. Fuck. I forgot.
Sorry.
No, it's like you said, it's my fault.
Hey,
No.
are we going to get how the prostitute ends up making out with Matt? By the way, I'm not calling her a prostitute. That's what Nutcracker Face did.
No, you're calling her the prostitute, and Nick has it.
Oh, yeah. I was just going to say, it seemed like last week you really wanted to gloss over the sty. This week you're hammering
it.
So, like,
it needs to be lanced. It needs to be taken care of. And they're not taking care of it because she's the butt of this joke.
Yeah. Any other time, they're like, we'll catch you in paradise. But for some reason, they just keep pushing her out there, and it's kind of sad. And fuck.
Episode title, I think it needs to be lanced. Is
done.
It's done.
Hey, all right. So, so Brittany interrupts and then gets time with Matt, and then they start making out right here. Is that where we are?
I think
and
so.
once again, Matt has his eyes fully open as they're engaging in tongue twisting.
I have not seen that yet.
Oh, it's crazy. And it got me thinking, hey, Matt, were you robbed one time when you were kissing someone?
Never again. I'll never let... She took my Blockbuster card. I'll never let it happen again.
It reminds me of the Thanksgiving football episode of Friends when they're talking about, like, they're trying to
God help us.
Monica's giving a rousing speech against the men, and she's like, to hell with every guy who's ever kept one eye on the TV while making out with us.
Yeah.
And Phoebe goes, oh, you've dated a guy with a glass eye too? Because one eye on the TV. But it's the same thing. Eyes open while kissing. It's the exact same thing.
You know
it's a
how,
great Friends reference.
You know how mad I am right now? Before we get to them, they're somewhere around this. I'm very lost. But the two of them, that is Jafar and her Iago, cook up this very, very unfounded rumor about this girl being an escort, who was pretty frisky when she got out of the car.
That doesn't make her a whore.
No, it doesn't. But, how many rich guys does she know?
Well,
watching this last night, and even leading up to it, thinking about how we were going to talk about it, I was feeling really bad about, like, what could happen to this girl because of these accusations. But now I am starting to think it's way funnier to lean into Pat's, where she's a whore. What Brittany is, in fact.
I think Pat's doing this weird thing where he's like, I feel so horrible for this girl that they've just levied these horrible rumors about. But he's called her a prostitute 75 times tonight.
Dylan, I want to go on record as saying I do not approve of this rumor mill calling this young woman a whore, a prostitute. It is even if she was doing that, I don't want to hold that against her despite her coming on a reality TV show.
Guys.
You know, this once again, this little podcaster, Patty, I think it was in the 8th grade going into my freshman year, a horrible rumor was spread about me. They called me bricklayer. The rumor was that I tied bricks to my feet to flip them around my body so I could suck my own dick.
That's so clever.
I was weeks before I'm picking up my little school clothes and my backpack, and I'm like, damn it, I hope that bricklayer thing doesn't follow me.
It did.
Big time.
So damn anyone who thinks Pat is going to fertilize an unfounded rumor that could destroy someone's life.
He's not going to do it. Never again.
But anyways, Brittany,
meanwhile,
the
new girl Michelle tells the girls not to hate her, and then the producers say, "Stop! New date card." Write her. Which one? The one that just said she doesn't want everybody to hate her. What's her name?
Oh yeah. Great producing, by the way, and they know Matt's type. I think this is actually going to be a season where the person actually picks a black person. I really do.
We joked about the beginning, him having that conversation with Chris about how he's not into black chicks, but there are just so many unbelievable women, and they're all black. I just don't know how he could watch him pick Rachel.
My dark horse is Rachel.
Yeah, watch him pick her.
He better not.
Ironically.
Bree.
Speaking
of front runners, gets the one-on-one because,
she gets
the
a rose.
group date rose because obviously she's going to win or be the next Bachelorette, which she shouldn't, because I think Katie would be more disastrous and better to watch. But Anna says, God, Brittany really bit me in the ass. Nah, it's more that you're, I don't know. Find a looking glass, has nothing to do with her.
Thank you.
Was Brittany the whore talking to Matt or Nutcracker Face when she said, "Hey, look, I've had a boyfriend since I was 17"?
That was later. She was talking to Katie, I think.
Oh, she was like, I mean, he was.
Oh, she was talking to
He
the
was
group,
a
yeah.
pimp. Okay, relationships are complicated.
Yeah. He farmed me out a lot, and I said I didn't want to do it, but he said if I loved him. So,
That's a good joke.
she firmly thinks that it's Brittany's fault, so she presses her about, fucking old rich men for money. So this gets very, very awkward, and I want us to just sit in this for a little bit, because this is another one of those moments where we should ask the producers, happy with what you're doing in life? Huh?
And if you're not, I would take your position.
When you come home and your son, Daddy, how was work today? How do you stare in the mirror?
Well, son, you ever manipulated anybody's life? Pretty fucking great.
We're all fighting for the same man. So I just want to make sure that your intentions are pure coming here. So coming into this, I actually was
That was
getting
a weird
messages
edit.
from people in Chicago, and just kind of them saying like, watch out for this girl. That like you're an escort and all this stuff.
Wait, you were telling people in the house that?
I think that's an awful thing to say about someone, and I want to apologize.
Like, what'd they say?
But also kind of give you the space if you wanted to talk about like why people were sending warnings about you when I literally have never met you.
No, I'm not an escort. Like, it's just like so ridiculous to even like say that, like to have that come out of my mouth. Like, I've had a boyfriend my entire since I was 16. Making like a conclusion about me before you like even know me, just that's I don't know. It just makes me like, I just feel like everyone's like against me right now. I'm like, I know you guys don't care at all, but it's really hard.
Okay, then get out the house.
She shoved the kid with bifocals off the bench. It's just like so mean. You know, it's like so unfucking believably mean. And you look like, I don't want to. Shouldn't.
By the way, who did the music for that? Was it get Chris Nolan's guy? Wow.
Jordan Peele's guy. All right, so next morning.
Next morning.
So we covered the bottle service revelation, which was to me everything just fit into place.
All the pieces.
I was like, oh my God, obviously she's envious of an escort. But anyways.
I thought I remembered one of the myriad things I forgot tonight.
Yeah.
That Kit was having a conversation with someone, and she just very condescendingly said, like, I guess the Chicago nightlife's really small. Like, it was very telling of it gave credence to Pat's insight that she is a New York City socialite.
Yeah, she's like, Chicago's nightlife is kind of like a borough nightlife, but there are tons of them in New York, so I really want to say
There's
This
5.
conversation's boring.
So anyways, one-on-one with Michelle.
Yeah.
A lot of talk about making up on lost time. Again, we've got Chris Harrison has taken over the date, quote unquote, in the sky.
Because Matt can't remember the lines.
I don't. Is that it?
I'd venture the guess.
I want to know, like, if we were to talk to one of the producers and they would never talk to us because we shit on the show that they make.
Oh, I've asked. I have personal friends that
Yeah.
work on the show. They said no way.
But who is the person that is saying, guys, we have to remember. We have to have Matt say whose date this is. Who is this person? What's going on? So anyways, the sky's the limit. They're going to go on a little scavenger hunt of love. They have really good chemistry. It's incredible chemistry.
How could you not with her,
I'm
Dylan?
very bored by it. They just have unbelievable chemistry. I think she's fantastic. And it's just boring how wonderfully they're getting along.
Cake eater from Edina.
Can I say something? Matt says something kind of absurd here. So they do the zip lining, the hot air ballooning. Meanwhile, by the way, the girls are looking on and with binoculars, and then
Yes.
Matt and her go. Well, I don't want to get ahead of myself. They go to a car museum.
Yeah.
Matt tells her, and I quote, "She's been so patient." She's been here for 15 hours. That's
Yeah.
the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, exactly.
You're an idiot.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So meanwhile, date card gets dropped. Who we got?
All right, group date. We got vibrator Katie, Piper, the 14-year-old, Serena, Rachel, probably gonna win. Kit, my wife, according to my wife, says is a nice person. Chelsea, Jasenia, Lauren, the Asian, and Twisted Sister.
So the date card says, "Are you ready to beat the fuck out of each other for love?" We'll get there later. Night date first.
Night date.
We got a random car museum and some chat about students of color and George Floyd. And is there anything wrong with this girl? She's wonderful. But is she into him? I don't think that she is going to be ultimately.
There's occasionally people that show up to this process or whatever the hell this is.
Too
that
good
I'm
for
like,
it.
that I think they show up and they thought it would kind of be fun, and then they get wrapped up to it, and they're really happen to be attractive people that their friends convince them they need to do it, and they do become authentic. And then there are people that fool us occasionally, and she may in fact be one of those people.
What do you mean?
Well, she could just be a thirsty fucking fame whore as well.
Maybe.
In a very nice kind of milquetoasty veneer, and
Got
that we're
it.
falling in love with. I don't know.
I hope not. She's very, very passionate about her students, and teachers take a lot of shit, but good teachers really can change.
It's really
the
the
world.
unions, Dylan. It's not the teachers.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. So
And I think both things are true. I think she's serious about teaching. She's like a good person, but she would marry Matt in a heartbeat. I mean,
yeah,
it's a teacher salary and a Dinah after all.
yeah,
you
exactly. Oh, a Dinah. Got it.
I know it well. It's a suburb of Minnesota. Affluent as hell. Kinda.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah. The cake eater is a term for.
Oh,
it's
got
very
it.
deep
Marie
cut
Antoinette kind of thing.
regional reference.
Okay, got it. I was about to say that they probably eat a lot of chili fries, but evidently I'm wrong.
No, I wouldn't say affluent people in Minnesota don't eat chili fries. That's where you're wrong.
We
Dylan.
put the cheese in between the meat. Okay, so
bougie.
Brittany and Kate. Next day. Brittany and Kate chat about how Brittany has been accused of not being a model, but rather being an escort.
Right.
She's like, they're completely disregarding my Chiron. There's another girl that's sitting there too, but she's not important to the story and will be sent home next week. We'll get to all that later. We get some shots of Matt shirtless, hitting a heavy bag with terrible form.
I've seen them do the guy version of this in The Bachelorette, where the guys get up there with the face mask and the gloves and they beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
I believe this is the first time they've had the young ladies put the gloves on and whack each other.
Yep.
I could be wrong. New low. For this franchise, I've referenced it once or twice. This is Flavor of Love territory.
Sure.
And this is it's the same producers that did that piece of shit season of Tayshia and Claire. Same low class stuff. Don't get me wrong. I love some bad cringeworthy TV. This is wrong. They're not trained to punch each other. I can't believe they did this.
Well, and also it's a lose-lose because let's talk about the strategy of the date here for a moment. I don't think that excelling in this competition
No, it's not a turn on.
is a good look.
No.
Nobody wants to be Luke, you know?
And they really try to operate under this guise that the show is not a competition, it's to find love. But they just keep getting more challenging like this.
Right.
Next, they're going to be in like relay races for like 30 miles at a time.
This is what we're going to do. You guys are going to hang off of a ledge for as long as you possibly can. You're going to be on a bungee cord. It may work, it may not. Good luck.
Is Matt your soulmate or not?
Okay, so Serena, at the end of the date, takes a jab to the face. Matt says, enough. This isn't what we're here for. What were you here for?
There were actually three pairings of fights before the one that he actually got punched.
Seems like an occupational hazard. She got hit in the face. What are you talking about? What are we here for? But Serena pulls the opposite of Sarah. She's very like, I'm okay. I'll see you later. Not the trauma of today has reminded me about the doubt that I had leading up to this journey. Kind of thing. She was very like, don't worry about me. But
if I may interrupt real quickly.
Yeah.
Some of the birdies out there, our listeners are very smart. They said, How could they rob us of the sty monster getting punched in the face? They stopped it. She should have been the first fight. If you knew Matt might put the kibosh on this punching each other thing, put the sty monster up there and then put her against the Nutcracker face.
It's like, why did they go halfway with this? Like
Yep.
they did the punching competition, put the people who actually have the beef. It's almost like they were trying to couch it like, oh, we don't really want them to fight, but like, I don't know. They're not. Yeah.
Shame on you, Mickey.
Have Victoria fight Katie. Have Brittany fight Anna. Let's fucking see this.
You know who they needed? We didn't talk about Wells. They needed fucking Aram up there. You know, really make some fights. But anyways, he says that these girls have earned this after party. No, they've earned a night in with a fucking pizza, not a 2-hour turnaround to do full makeup and get in dresses and heels. They've earned this.
Did you mention Wells?
No.
I don't think he needs to be mentioned because I don't think he said a goddamn word.
I think it's
He didn't.
I think it's incredible though. It's quite the feat to be twice brought on the show, quarantined, kept in there, be introduced, and then not get one line in twice.
Oh, I love it because
It's fascinating.
He may know the producers, but they're not picking up his phone calls. And he's sitting right in front of that TV on Monday night, just like the rest of America. And he's sitting next to that Modern Family girlfriend of his, Sarah. He's like,
Sophia
all right, I
Vergara.
think I'm coming up right here. This is me. I'm coming up. This is me. This is my scene.
All right.
And then they just completely edit him out.
Let's get to the after
Meanwhile-
party. Yep.
The other nights, he's watching that fat grip get like 6 lines in every episode.
Polly.
Yeah.
Polly the Parmesan eater. So anyways, let's get to the after party that these girls have earned. He sits down with Rachel, I think, the Christian. She's nice. Hometown candidate for sure.
That's up.
He does this thing where he asks them to tell him what to do to make them feel better. Fucking amateur hour. Iago and the witch talk about something, but let's get back to the girls. The varsity squad, sans the person that called the group the varsity squad, that being MJ, are hanging and chatting and shitting on the new girls. Now, Katie, the knight in shining armor, goes and tells Matt about it. Now, I love Katie. She's one of my favorites on the show. But I don't like the way that this was framed. She says, I can't keep sticking up for people. Okay. Little, you're not a Dark Knight here, you know.
It's also framed as bullying, right? Wasn't that the big trigger word?
Yes, it was. And I do think that calling a woman an escort on national television when you have no evidence of that is a little a bridge too far. But we'll see how it goes.
I would go past bullying and say defamation.
Yes.
Oh, if I'm Brittany, I'm fucking suing
Me
Mickey.
too.
I'm fucking suing Nutcracker Face.
Well, you can't sue Mickey.
You try.
Nah, you don't try. Too much harm can come your way. But you can sue the fuck out of Anna. Take all that copy editor or money she's got stowed away. But anyways, that shoebox is mine, Anna. All right. We have got to go. But before we do, I want to talk about the after the credits scene. This is what you've got to start the show with. Maggie is just shining this season. All right. He's doing a TikTok dance because once again, he was so fame thirsty that Claire said too much.
Too much.
So he's learning TikTok choreography. And a quick PSA to wrap this show up. If you ever find yourself drilling down on TikTok choreography, take a breath and ask yourself, what am I doing?
I loved this moment. It was like watching Big Bang Theory without the laugh track.
Yeah.
Him dancing with no music.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It was so cringy. He is just a dumb human being. All right, we'll be back next week with more of Another Bachelor Podcast. Remember, patreon.com/Another Podcast Network. Only need a couple more. We love you guys for supporting us there. iTunes ratings and reviews, constructive criticism, and
It's not welcome.
or adoration. Please, 5 stars. 1, wear your name tag. Facebook, join us there. We'll see you next week. I'm Dylan saying goodbye. Nick, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Pat, say goodbye.
Later.